What's up? My name is John, and today I have a review for MaXXXine. It is a movie starring Mia Goth, where she is an adult film actress trying to level up her career, jumping from the adult film industry over to, I guess, the regular Hollywood industry, film industry. But of course, there is a Night Stalker who is killing young, promiscuous women. And of course, MaXXXine is one of those. She gets threatened by him. And of course, hijinks ensue. Now, usually I would start off by saying, I love this movie so much. But I would honestly have to say that I kind of just like this movie. It was alright. It was okay. It was just okay to me, which is a little disappointing because I had such high hopes for this movie, right? The first movie, X, was pretty much a slasher film. The second movie, Pearl, was also kind of was a more psychological thriller with a crazy character at the center. And this one was in my mind, I thought it was going to be a whodunit, but with the Ty West twist. This movie is written, edited, and directed by Ty West, who I must give major props to because all of those things are pretty good. I would say that what falls short is the script. I guess the mystery aspect of it, to me, could have been done better. At least, you know, the whodunit part, because I was ready for a whodunit. I was like, okay, who in Pearl or who in X did we meet that could be a potential killer? Who are these new characters that could also be a potential killer? Because as we know from the horror rules of always, you know, Scream says the killer is always someone you know, which is something that reflects in real life too. So that being said, I was thinking, oh, I know who the killer is. So, you know, I had my guess, and I was hoping I might have been incorrect and that they would have threw out something crazy, but also something that made sense. But at the end, the killer ended up being someone that made sense, but wasn't crazy. And I guess, you know, I'm thinking about the word. It's kind of, I knew it was going to happen. You know, it was predictable. But maybe it wasn't supposed to be so much of a whodunit movie, you know. Maybe this one was supposed to be more of a thriller movie as well. Like a mixture of X and Pearl smashed together. And I think it falls short on that. I think X, the first movie, had a lot of shock value because the concept of, you know, adult film actors being targeted and it being in a slasher movie, but it was like a highbrow, high art film. I think that gave X a lot of leeway. And then Pearl was a sequel to X, and we were like, oh, we already know how good Mia Goth is in X. So now we're going to see her take over the main character in Pearl. And Pearl, to me, was fantastic. I guess Pearl was a more relatable character to me. When Pearl said, there's something wrong with me, I wish somebody would just tell me so I could fix it, really, really hit home. And I was like, damn. So Pearl was a more relatable character, even though she was crazy, psycho, cuckoo. She was slightly relatable in her dreams and ambitions and what she wanted to do. Here, MaXXXine is kind of already a star. You know, she isn't rich by any means, but she does get recognized for her film industry work, which would make me slightly uncomfortable if I was someone that did that work. And I'm like, and someone's like, and you know, I go to the studio and they're like, here, I'm MaXXXine, or I'm John, I'm John. And they're like, oh, I know John. Buzz you in. And I'm like, oh yeah, great, cool. You've definitely masturbated to me. That's cool. Maybe multiple times. That's fine. I guess that's my line of work. I should expect that. But it's still pretty weird. Some of the things I should warn you about in this movie are nudity. However, it is tastefully done and never goes overboard. There is heavy drug use back in the 80s, you know. So be prepared for that, you know. Don't be triggered by it. Or, you know, if you are triggered by something like that, then maybe this isn't the movie for you, because it is a hard R. The slasher elements in this movie are okay. You would think with someone like the Night Stalker that maybe we would take more of a Scream-like approach, speaking of Scream, but it doesn't really go that far. There are a couple of kills in this movie. They are brutal, they are gory, but, you know, only just a couple of kills. And I would honestly say they weren't that gory. I guess they were gory enough to warrant a R rating along with all those other things, but I've seen worse. You know, I went and saw In a Violent Nature earlier this year, and that's gory, but this is nothing like that. I would say this is more on a Scream level. Let me try to circle back on here to the story. So, the story is MaXXXine, adult film, Night Stalker, figuring out what's happening. All the people she starts to know starts dying. Her past gets brought up. So we're bringing up events that happened in X that she's been trying to hide and, you know, move away from. And they just keep coming back. And so, you know, she even gets threatened by the Night Stalker, who the police don't know who they are. But there is a private detective played by Kevin Bacon. Also, side note, all-star cast, like all-star. But anyway, so she starts getting threatened by the Night Stalker. The detective tries to, like, you know, tell her, hey, this guy ain't playing, girl. You better come and do what he says, or he's going to reveal your past, and everything you've worked so hard for will just be gone in an instant. And MaXXXine, it's like, at first she's a little hesitant. You know, she tries to get some help from her agent. He is pretty handy because he has been around the block a couple times, so he knows how to handle people. And I guess how the ending turned out was just a little underwhelming. Once I found out who the Night Stalker was, it was actually who I thought it to be the whole time. You know, I was hoping like, oh, maybe it's that person, or oh, maybe it's that person, but no. It was the person I thought it was, which was a little disappointing because I love a good whodunit. So I was really waiting for some type of twist. I guess that's what this movie is missing. Some type of grab, some type of twist, something to reel you in. One of the things that do reel you in, though, is the style of the movie. It is very stylish with the 80s. It looks great. I was in Footloose in high school, and so I did go through a 80s phase. You know, I have a whole 80s playlist on Spotify, so I kind of love the 80s. I love the vibe of the 80s. This movie is vibing hard. Production design, music. It's there, but I just can't help but feel that it was missing something. It was missing that big X factor, and I don't know what could have been done or what could have changed it. You know, I don't think if buffing up the mystery portion of the movie would have really done any justice, but something was just felt like it was missing. It was lacking something. But overall, I did enjoy the movie. It was filmed very well. Mia Goth is phenomenal as always in her role as MaXXXine. All the co-stars in here are very good. I would really consider this a thriller, a vibing thriller from the 80s. Should you go see this movie? I think if you were really excited about X and Pearl and you like those movies, then of course you should go see MaXXXine. I would just caution that maybe you should taper down your expectations, because to me, it wasn't what I wanted, but I can't deny that it was a well-made film. So that is my review for MaXXXine. Are you going to go see it? Did you see X? Did you see Pearl? My name is John. Thank you for watching Cinema Saturday. And as always, have a good one.